Hello, my name is The Great Metaphor, and welcome to the second episode of my developer Let's Play of the game Metatanks. Before we get started, I'd like to give a huge shout out to the YouTuber Spudcats, who did a Let's Play of one of my other games, Violet Raystorm. As an aspiring video game developer in desperate need of publicity, it really means a lot to me that they did this. Plus, I just had a lot of fun watching the video. Go check out their video if you have the chance. They're a pretty small creator too, and they need the boost in attention as well. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so I got good news and bad news. The good news is I know why some of the audio was lost in the previous episode. The bad news is I figured out the hard way. It's because my phone screen went dead while I was trying to record. Whoops. Anyway, here's episode 2. The first level here is very basic and it's just here to get you warmed up for the next episode. It's not terribly interesting. Instead, I'm going to talk about the length. I mentioned that the first episode had 20 levels. What I didn't say is that every episode in the first level has 20. Every episode in the main game has 20 levels. In this level, we get to see another a really scary enemy that shoots a lot of bullets and bounces off its bullets. Unlike the enemy it's based off from Wheat Tanks, though, it doesn't know how to lead its shots. Be very grateful for that. They're still scary, though, because they shoot a lot of bullets. But you're gonna see much scarier enemies later. Here's your introduction to the flamethrower power-up. It's used as a nerf in this level. It has short range, and you have to get close to this guy when he doesn't have short range. But this level's not too bad, you just go around in a circle and he can't really hurt you much. Also in this episode, we start seeing levels made by people other than me. Like this one. This was made by a person who went by the commander in the level editor. In just a bit, we're gonna see a level made by my friend Facade. He started programming in later games, but not yet. Also, here are the missile tanks. I think this is the first level in them. I'm not paying too close attention right now because I'm kind of annoyed at the lost audio. And here is, to the extent of my knowledge, the first level that Facade made. It has a lot of missile tanks. You're gonna see that a lot. He really likes missile tanks for some reason. He also likes putting missile tanks inside of rings of holes so they can't move around and functionally become turrets, which may seem silly, but you'll see why he does that in a bit. Anyway, mortars. They shoot bullets that go above everything and land exactly where you were. In both tanks they did, the mortars were perfectly synchronized, which is kinda odd. Here are flamethrower tanks. They shoot a flamethrower at you. I almost died there. That's kind of exciting. I should probably stop and slow down a little bit. Audio recording issues kind of get to me if you couldn't tell. Also, these guys act kind of strangely in this level since they play it really safe when they really shouldn't. They have a very short-ranged weapon. These guys don't have the option to play it safe though. But what you do see is what I was talking about earlier about Facade's use of missile tanks inside of whole things. Wouldn't that just make them functionally missile bunkers? Not quite, because the missile bunkers don't try to lead their shots. The missile tanks do. Incidentally, this game made me very good at dodging very simple shot leading algorithms. What it did not make me good at is talking and playing video games at the same time. Okay, let's try not to get killed by an explosion this time. Explosions are mean in this game. Everything's mean in this game. It's a very mean game. I like it though. I could have done a lot better. Here's the mini-boss of the second stage, the flamethrower hovercraft. He's not terribly difficult, but does have a bunch of guys around him that block shots, and when you destroy him, any of the things orbiting him that are left will fly off and start trying to ram into you. Thank you, body, for burping while I'm in the middle of trying to explain the game. And thank you, me, for killing all the orbitals before they were dead. Hey, guess who just hit the new game button when he meant to hit the continue button? This Let's Play is going very well. And we are back! At least this gives me an excuse to see what happens when enemies go off screen. So that actually does give me an opportunity to talk about something interesting. As kind of a failsafe, most enemies will die if they go off screen. But once you know it, this is the one enemy that can, well, one of two enemies that can actually normally go through, go out of bounds under normal circumstances. And you also got to see a little bit of the, what the shields do when they die, but I was so distracted that I did not properly do that. So now the shield guys, they're actually attacking you. They're not much of a threat though. Anyway, this episode has been extremely fast-paced. I'm gonna try to slow it down a little bit now that I'm to the second half, but I will offer no guarantees because I do get a bit agitated when recording stuff does not go as planned, and quite a bit of recording stuff did not go as planned. Also, here we have cross-bomb bunkers. They shoot bombs that split into 4 different thingies. They're going to be very nightmarish to deal with later when we get to the expert levels. Also, this guy just decided not to do anything. He does that sometimes, I don't know why. I forgot that happened. Yeah, in this game's a bit buggy. Here we have shield bunkers. They shield bunkers from damage. I didn't actually design them, a different friend of mine did. A guy who goes by Mr. Q. He doesn't make any levels though, much as I want them to. So as you can see, as long as the shield bunkers are alive, these things don't do much damage. I was planning on talking a lot more about the mechanics and the background of this game, but there's just so many mechanics introduced in this episode that I'm not sure how much I'll be able to do that. Here are shotgun tanks. They shoot a lot of bullets. They're another enemy that's going to be really annoying later. Uh-oh, please don't be so close to me. There we go. Oh crap, I started this level too fast. There's a lot of bullets in this level. And these guys are hard to hit because the shotgun guys, I think they try to move to get ahead of you. So if you're dodging a lot, they move unpredictably. This level's not too terribly interesting, so I guess that was a good time to talk about. So you know the flamethrower hovercraft, and he's a lot easier than the mini-boss of the first episode, the Chargers. And that, one of the problems I had with this game is that I did not balance it very well. I balanced a lot of things based off of how difficult I assumed things were going to be, and because of that, the hardest of the 3 mini-bosses is actually the first one. And then you get the flamethrower hovercraft, which is still, like, I mean, he's hard to kill, he's not very hard to deal with overall, though. Then there's the mini-boss of the 3rd episode. You're gonna see how sad the mini-boss of the 3rd episode is later. And there's also some issues with the major bosses, but I'll get to those in a bit. Probably not very long, I'm playing this episode much faster than I played the first one. Oh, and here we have laser bunkers. That pink beam will kill the crap out of me. Also, fun fact, I kept forgetting which way the spiral went for this level, and so I had to remake this level like 6 different times. You can do this level very quickly if you're extremely ballsy. Also, these metal plates, for this level, they're kind of they're a loose show of the safe spots for this level. Don't rely on them too much, they are not fully reliable. And it's also not a reoccurring theme. Most of the time, these metal plates are just pure decoration. This level takes a long time, so I'm gonna play it safe, because I don't want to replay it. At least we get to listen to the music. The music's good. Although, it'll probably get cut a bunch, because I have a hard time talking as much as I should, so I'm probably gonna cut out a lot of dead air. And there we go. Also, there are some... I think I talked about this in the first episode, but there are some things like the lasers and the flamethrowers that can go through those grates. Here's another one of those levels where you die. There's another one of those levels where the enemies are trying to break something to release more enemies. It's a pretty reoccurring gameplay mechanic. But if you kill everything, the bombs kill the enemies for you. Here's more mortars. And more lasers, and there's a lot going on in this level. Yeah. Go, 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 go! I need to pay closer attention. Please don't kill me. Okay. I think I got most of the scary enemies. Okay. And then once you do all that nonsense, you gotta go back here and kill a very inconveniently placed enemy. And then you gotta kill another inconveniently placed enemy. And I am going to take 0 risks, even though I know the lasers can't hit me while I'm in this room. But I don't like re-recording any of my material. Do these guys shoot lasers outside of this? No, I don't think they can. Yes, they can. I am very glad I played it safe. So I talked a little bit about the music. I think this was one of the last songs I actually finished for the main game. No, this episode 1 theme was. But this boss theme, this was actually the first song I introduced, and it introduced one of the that I finished, and it introduced one of the most important leitmotifs in this franchise, in this game. I think I pronounced that right. I don't think I've ever actually heard that pronounced out loud. Also, here's the hardest boss in the game. Yeah, you fight him here. I'll talk more about my issues with that. He's got a big flamethrower, and he does this. Oh, nope. He doesn't do this yet. Hold on. Now he's gonna do this. Yeah, that's a lot to deal with. And also that delay between attacks is very short. Wow. And then, no, the second phase isn't as bad. Also, I should probably pick up some of these power-ups. Like the rocket launcher is actually really useful, since it can hit both the front and back of him in one shot. But now instead of shooting those cluster bombs, he will shoot a long chain of bombs, which are easy to deal with. He'll also shoot a lot of missiles. Luckily most of them hit stuff. And one shot. Yeah. Uh-oh. I shot that too early. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. There's a lot of cover in this against these guys. A luxury I'm not gonna have in the 3rd episode. I'm not gonna die, am I? Okay. That's not exactly what I planned, but it works. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking the video and playing the game for yourself. If you want to see more developer Let's Plays, or if you want to see trailers for my future games, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.